can you tell us anything special about mangrove forests?
Well, the mangroves are essential parts of coastlines in the tropics because their roots help to stabilize the sand and the earth so that when strong storms come or hurricanes, they help to prevent erosion. Also, the roots underwater help to protect a lot of fishes, especially a lot of the reef fish when they're juvenile or their larval periods in the mangroves. So the mangroves offer protection for these juvenile fish. So they're very important as nurseries for a lot of the fish species.
All right, that's really cool. So a lot of people here at the Cal Academy are really interested in animals, and I'm really interested in plants. I think that these mangrove trees are fascinating. The way you see their branching roots down there, they're very efficient at standing up in soil, which is actually not soil, it's sand. And they do a great job of holding steady, keeping shorelines intact, and making sure that the water is actually pretty clear so that coral reefs that need that clear water quality are protected in part by the mangroves. So a very interesting relationship in the area that you would find just off the coast of the Philippines. Do we have any other questions from people in the crowd? Great question. What about the fish? What are we feeding the little fish in there, and what species are they?
Well, we have some wrasses in here. We have some surgeon fish. The small white fish are actually the small tarpon. They'll feed on smaller pieces of clam. And we also have fish food that we add for just the fish on other occasions, but not when we're feeding the bigger fish. So we split that feeding up.
All right, I see that Nick's feet are in the water, and your hand is pretty close to these animals. Do you get nervous at all being so close to predatory animals like this?
Oh, not at all. These animals are pretty docile. In fact, in nature, they're quite shy, and it's a very rare opportunity to be able to see these in the wild because they are so shy, and they're not really dangerous to man unless you provoke these animals, just like any other animal. If they feel threatened, they do have structures to defend themselves, like the spines on the back of the stingrays that can be used to sting and puncture animals that are bothering.
That's great. So I think a lot of us have some fears about sharks. We see Shark Week on TV, we've seen Jaws, and we've heard a lot of things about rays recently as well. But it's really cool to find out that they're actually pretty mellow, and just like the alligators we were just talking about, they are very calm unless they feel threatened themselves and provoked. So it's really important to learn about these animals to find out more, and that way we can help protect them and not have some irrational fears as well as our rational fears that might go along with some of these creatures.
As I mentioned, the vast majority of sharks are small animals and totally harmless to people. There's only a handful of sharks that get to a large size that are considered to be dangerous to people. But again, they're only dangerous if they're provoked or put in a situation where you shouldn't be. These are animals and other animals, so you have to be careful about where you go swimming and just use common sense.
That's probably the most important lesson. Common sense answers a lot of our questions. So I want to thank you so much for taking care of these animals. Can we give a big round of applause to Glenn and to Nick? And thank them and all the other biologists for doing all this really, I think you have a great job. Really cool work that you're doing and helping to educate us a little bit more about these species. So if you guys have any additional questions, we can take them off mic over here and enjoy the rest of your stay here at the California Academy of Sciences. Thank you.
Well, Ed, I just wanted to add one more thing.
Sure.
And that's what the status of these animals in the wild is. Unfortunately, sharks are under increasing pressure through fishing, and the most common fishing that's done for sharks are for their fins. In the Asian markets, shark fin soup is extremely popular, and it's also very expensive. And sharks are under a lot of pressure because they're being fished and caught barely for their fins. When the animals are caught, the fins are cut off the animal while it's still alive, and then the body of the shark is dumped back into the ocean where it then dies. A lot of the rays of well now are being hunted and fished for their fins on the side, which are then also used in delicacies such as rabbit food. So one of the things that we can all do to help protect sharks is not to purchase any kind of shark products like shark cartilage that's used in some of the traditional medicines and some of the dishes such as shark's fin soup.
That's a really, really great ending note to bring out the fact that they are very threatened, that they are used, as you mentioned, for their fins and for food, sometimes for their oil, and then there's a lot of souvenirs that go along with the tourism trade. So whenever you're traveling, you